Hello, today I am going to be showing my February bullet journal setup. Pretty late, I know, but I have mentioned before I don't really want to put myself on deadlines when it comes to videos because I think that takes the joy out of it. Yeah, blah blah blah. I tried to fix the lighting. It looks much better. It's still obviously not perfect, and it's probably never going to be. But I use the ring light, so at least it's not like super dark like it was last time. Yes, my theme today, or for this month, is like a donut shop theme. I felt like that was appropriate for February. I used the pastels. There's a lot of pinks in there. Baked goods definitely are like a kind of Valentine's-y sort of thing. Also, it's my birthday month, so I associate baked goods with birthdays as well. You know, people eat cake. So it makes sense in my brain. Plus, I wanted to do it, so that's really all the justification that I needed. But here you can see I am drawing this little donut shop, which is by no means an original image. I think like this is pretty stereotypical. I looked up donut shop and they all look like this. And I'm writing out the quote, "Donut stress, just do your best." I try to do better quotes than those usually, but I do like to kind of still have it sort of relate to the theme, even if it's super abstract. But with donuts, I just couldn't find one that worked, and I thought this was cute. Do not worry about that ugly ass font up at the top. I do change it. I change it off screen, but you'll see a jump cut later after everything's filled in where like I've covered it up completely. It looks entirely different, and I've decided like I wanted to add a background, so that's why there's like a random cut, because I filmed this and I was like, you know what? It needs a change. And so I changed it. And then I was like, oh, well, maybe I should film the change. So I filmed the rest of the change. But yes, this video is going to be so long. I am so sorry about that. But for right now, I'm just gonna let you guys watch me color this in. I am going to add a few different levels of like layering paper, stuff like that. But for the most part, I'm just drawing stuff and coloring it in. That's what my cover pages tend to be. I just like to do some sort of drawing heavy, well, potentially drawing heavy section for the cover, as well as a little quote. And then I move on with more scrapbooky kind of headers for the rest of the spreads. I actually changed the font at the top, and then that's it. Don't worry, it doesn't stay like that either. I tried to fix it so many times, and like eventually I was like, okay, I'm covering it up. As you can see, it's been covered up. It looks so much better. And now I'm drawing in the background, and I will be coloring it in, and I will actually shut up now and you guys can just watch me color it in. And right there, I just added some washi tape because I felt like there wasn't enough of a divide between this bottom section with the layering and the actual drawing, which I don't know why I decided to do the layering there. I know it's something I do all the time in my spreads where I like to have that incorporated in pretty much every page that I have, but it really didn't work for that page. But you know, it was a thing that I did and I can't go and turn back now. But moving on to the next page, this is my monthly calendar. I do it every month even though I don't use it. It just has the main dates. I can reference back to it when I'm doing my weekly calendars, and I just think it's aesthetically pleasing. So, I mean, practicality wise, I guess there's really no point in me doing this, but it's a staple in every bullet journal to have like a month at a glance calendar. And I like this being the beginning of my spreads, just, you know, a cover page and then a calendar with an overall to-do list. I do put a to-do list down in that other rectangle. But here you can see me making the header. I got this cute donut, what's it called? Craft paper from, I think that one was from Hobby Lobby, which we don't love to support them, but you know, there's only so many craft stores around, so I'm sorry. They still suck though. And then I got some craft paper, donut craft paper from Michaels as well, which is it's different colors than that. It's actually like more brown, pink, gold coloring than that. I prefer the Hobby Lobby one because it's more colorful, but I did want to have like kind of a variety and to support something other than Hobby Lobby. So I have that as well that will come up later in the spreads. But right now I'm making the February actual like header, the word, and I'm doing it in the same font that I did the donut stress off camera, so you guys didn't really see that, but it's like bubble letters and then kind of making them look like donuts by putting the frosting in the bubble letters. Mine's kind of messy, but like I've never claimed to be good at drawing. So yeah, you can probably see it online and it looks so much better, but I liked how it worked out. I thought it was really cute. And you'll notice me drawing stuff on index cards and cutting it out a lot. That's just what I do. For one, I like that the index card has that layer of white behind it, so it helps it stick out, and I can layer it. And two, I just mess up on things so much that I feel like I can't directly put in the journal, otherwise I'm gonna mess up and I'm gonna be mad at myself, like I was with the writing on the first page that I ended up completely covering. So to avoid situations like that, I tend to just stick with my index cards and have a great time, even though it takes so much longer than it needs to. Okay, again, I am back at it with my index card. In addition to my big illustration every month on that cover page, I always have this empty space on the calendar page that I like to put a little doodle in. So that's what I'm making right now. I actually create 2 doodles because I felt like this one didn't take up enough space, but then I didn't like how the other one would have like looked beside it, so I actually ended up putting it with the to-do list header, which you'll see. This is just a little box of donuts, and then for the other one that I do is like a stack of donuts with one standing kind of. Yeah, I'm just alternating mostly between, well, pretty much only between pink, yellow, purple, green, and blue. Um, because I need to make everything a rainbow and kind of gay. Like, I guess. Um, but those are the colors that I'm using. They're all pastels. I love me a good pastel. Love me a good pastel rainbow. You should see my last Pride spread. It was actually Heartstopper themed, so it was literally a bunch of pastel rainbows. Ugh, I loved it. Anyways, sidetracked. Yes, now I'm just layering, trying to put things together, trying to figure out what the fuck I'm doing. But as you can see, it takes me a while, so enjoy as I try and navigate my way through this bullet journal spread. I kid you not, I had 9 hours of footage to condense down into 45 minutes. If you watch this entire video, you're an angel. I love you, but I don't blame you if you click out early. Okay, so we're moving on to the next page, which is my reading log page. It is self-explanatory. I log how many pages I read each day. I personally like the little graph where I can track the exact amount of pages that I do per day in the entire month. I know a lot of people do like the days read spreads, which is cool and all. For some reason, my brain loves just seeing the number of pages. I don't know why that graph is appealing to me. It probably looks really ugly, like to anyone else, but it's just so satisfying, which is funny because I don't read a lot. Um, like there are months when I like have maybe two short little lines in this entire graph, if any lines at all. Flashback to November when I read absolutely nothing. Um, but yes, it's a pretty easy spread to make. Same with the next one. The next one you'll see is my books read page. So I guess this is kind of like my bookish area. I do also have a books hauled spread. Here we are, moving on to the books read spread. Um, it's pretty much the same every month. I mean, I don't change my setups too much. It's pretty much the theme that changes, and then maybe every now and then I will decide I want to try something out, switch up a format. Um, but for the most part, it sticks. I just have three columns, one for the title slash author, one for the rating, and one for the number of pages. And then at the bottom, I have total, average, and then total again. So I can know the total number of books, the total number of pages, and the average rating of that month. Moving on to the next 2 pages, this one is the book's hauled, which is pretty much just a box and then a title. There's not much to this one. As you can tell, I'm having some issues with my roller. Well, not my roller. I think it's like, what, 0.005 or something? Like the smallest fine liner that Tombow makes. I prefer that one because for some reason I just like the very thin lines. But it always dies out before the rest. So yeah, it was on its last legs, and it's actually dead now. R.I.P. to that. So I end up going back over a lot of the stuff in the size up, which is like the 0.3. No, 0.03. I think that's it. Just because I got so fed up with this freaking, what's it called, roller, because since that thing was running out of ink, every time it would hit the roller, it would like just not write anything, and so I would have barely any line, and I can't draw a straight line to save my life, so I was so upset, and I just had to go over it again with a roller. There are times you'll see me just like straight up give up, and then I'm like get upset because it's not straight enough. It doesn't look good, and so I try using it again, and then I get pissed off again. So yeah, me and the roller and that fine liner were having some issues during this whole setup, but it's okay. Some stuff looks a little janky. Moving on to the next spread. This is my habit tracker spread. This is specifically the spread in which I wanted to scream at the ruler because I have to have so many tiny lines for the mini calendars that make up the habit trackers. But regardless of my hatred for that ruler in that moment, my habit tracker spread is one that is actually subject to change quite often. So I track 3 habits consistently, and then I added 2 for this month, and I had a different one last month that I ended up taking out. So the ones I track consistently are water, vitamins, and skincare, because they're all things that are good for you and that I should consistently do. And I probably don't need to track them because I think the whole point of a habit tracker is to formulate habits. And my habit tracker has successfully done that for at least the water and the vitamins. Skincare, not so much, because that is something that I feel like can fluctuate depending on my mental health. So with the water and vitamins, they're just sitting by my bed all the time. I can reach over and do that. Skincare, I actually have to get up and like have the motivation to exist. So if my mental health is not in the greatest place, it's less likely that I'm going to do that, and that is reflected in many a months last year. However, this year so far it's been fine. So anyways, I'm going on so many tangents, but it's fine. I have so much time to talk in this video. I have formulated those habits quite well of water and vitamins. However, I do still like to track them because I think that just filling that in, even though the habit has formulated, just keeps me motivated to do it. So like it's satisfying to have this little box colored in. It almost makes me want to like, this might sound weird, it almost makes me want to forget a couple days to do the stuff because I want to see like the weird pattern where sometimes they're empty. Like, I don't know what about that is satisfying to me. Because wouldn't it just be satisfying for it to be completely full? My brain doesn't work correctly. So I don't know why, like, the idea of having just a couple spaces free is, like, appealing. Maybe because it's realistic. Because, let's be honest, we're human. We forget to do important things sometimes. But I don't know. I'm weird. And sometimes I'm just like, ooh, what if I forgot? And, like, I had this empty space. And it looked like a fun little puzzle. But anyways, yeah, those are the ones that I track consistently. This month I added flossing, which I am sad to say I have been horrible at doing in the past. So this habit tracker has helped quite a bit so far, because it's something like, I'm sorry, my head keeps popping in. I can't see worth shit. So when I'm trying to line up the ruler with the journal, I have to lean in really close. So yeah, sorry for, like, my greasy roots. There's a lot of, I tried to cut it out, but I used the ruler a lot in this spread. So it was kind of hard to do. Anyways, flossing. I'm sad to say that I've not been the best in the past at keeping up with that, but now that I have the motivation of, like, being able to color in that box, I find it's actually quite easy to keep up with. Because in reality, I'm brushing my teeth anyways, so I can just pick it up, the little floss thingy up, and do it while I'm brushing my teeth. Which, in my defense, my schedule has changed to where I actually have more time in the morning. And so it is something that, it doesn't take extra time that I need for other stuff to do. I'm working second shift, so I'm not rushing in the morning. I can take my time getting ready. It frees up that time that I usually would be, like, sprinting out of the house, and allows me to actually stop and floss and do the things that are good for my hygiene. But yeah, that one, and actually making my bed, because I'm currently working from home as well. I will only be doing that for the next month or so. Actually, I think it's less than a month now. Yeah, it's less than a month. So that's probably not going to stay there. I've never been one to make my bed. It's not something that I was ever really taught to do. I don't see the purpose if I'm not going to be staying in my room constantly. However, working from home, my office space being in my room, means that I am in my room constantly. So making my bed while I'm working from home helps me kind of feel a little more professional and ready to take on the workday. So that's why I added it there. I don't know if it's a habit I'll continue, because, like I said, nobody's gonna see my room. I don't have guests over. I don't have a partner or anything. And even if I did, I have a twin bed, so it's not like they'd be hanging out in it. But yeah, that's why that's on there. And I've talked into the next spread, which is my first weekly spread. I only filmed the first 2 setups. I set mine up all at once. I don't feel the need to take the time each week to create one. I'd rather just get everything done at the beginning of the month so that I can fill stuff out as I learn it. But I took inspiration from a few different things. I used to actually, I should do a flip through soon of my bullet journal from last year, so you guys could reference what I'm talking about. But I used to not decorate my weekly spreads, and I didn't have, like, a 2-page spread per week. I just shoved as many weeks into a page as I could. So I would just have rectangles, like a layer of 9 rectangles on each page. I'd split it into like the exact numbers to make 9 rectangles. And then I'd have the 7 days of the week, and then the last 2 for like to-dos. This one, I changed it up and I did it for January as well, and I like it so much better. It works better for my schedule now, because in the past when I was using those smaller spreads, I didn't have like a set work schedule. So I would need to use the majority of the spread to keep track of like what exactly my work schedule was. Whereas now I know what I'm doing every day in terms of work. So the biggest portion of these is a to-do list, and having a daily to-do list, I've learned, is so much better for me because it makes the acts that I put on my to-do list more intentional. It breaks it up into like a more reasonable time period in which I can do it. Before I was just making weekly to-dos, and then I'd procrastinate till the end of the week, and then I wouldn't get the stuff done. Now I can list off things that I would like to do in the day, and it's not that big of a deal if I don't get them done. It's just like, hey, here's a timeline of what I'd like to do. If it needs to move, it can. And I've been so much more productive with that more intentional, scheduling of a smaller task. So this has really worked out for me. I split each day into the main section, which is the to-do section, and then just a smaller kind of column for events, which would be birthdays, holidays, anything that I'm going to. I do also, I have my normal scheduled job. However, I do also have a second job. My old job, I still work there Sundays. I know which day it's going to be every week. I just don't know the hours. So I put that in there. Any days off, they would be in the event category. But I gotta say, I didn't think I would have enough to fill out like a full two-page weekly spread, but I do, and I like it so much better. It's a change that I really appreciate, and I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I do, but it really works well for me and my productivity. Also, sorry that my cat keeps walking across the screen. Specifically my younger one, Toph, she likes to be on my desk and likes to sit in the middle of everything. She'll literally just sit on my journal sometimes while I'm trying to do stuff in it. I really appreciate it. She's adorable, but it makes it hard for me to actually work on my spread when she's, got her actual butt on it. But yeah, like I was saying earlier, I actually only get through 2 spreads. I make the header for the third one, but then my camera SD card, memory card, whatever that thing is called, was full because, as I said before, I had 9 hours of footage. And this was not the only thing on my camera, but it sure was a shit ton of footage. So I ran out of room, and I figured this was going to be long enough. So you'll see the last 2 spreads finished in the flip through, but you unfortunately don't get to see all of them done in this video. But I'm trying out a few different kind of setups. I had that first one, which was obviously the horizontal columns. These are going to be vertical Is that correct? Yes, it is vertical. Which I actually really like this one. I put the numbers in the like circles of the donuts. The next one is like a box spread, and then there's another vertical one that's laid out differently. Obviously, this one you have the top and the bottom because the page is split in half by these little headers, the donut headers. And the last spread, it's just them going across the top of the spread. But I ended up liking all of these very much. I just love the color scheme that I used for this. And I think it's cute. And I really like the weekly spreads. They work out so well. Oh, I will never be over how well the weekly spreads work out. But it is sure is a lot more time consuming than when I just made rectangles. But yeah, I am going to let you guys just watch the rest because I don't think I have too much else to say. So I'll let you watch the rest until we get to the overview. It's a lot of just drawing and coloring. Okay, here we have the overview. I intended to do like a aerial overview, and then I guess I just didn't, so sorry about that. And sorry if my hand is super shaky during this, but here is the cover and the calendar spread. You can see I filled it out a little bit because I needed to. Reading log. Hadn't read anything at this point. I don't think it was February at this point, so clearly I hadn't read anything. Here we go. You can see how I split up the events and the irregular to-do list portion. Just a small little column for events because even if I do have events, it's usually not much. And then this spread, I don't know how like other people would like it, but I thought it was really fun. I saw something really similar to it on Pinterest. It was like, I want to draw a shit ton of donuts and make that the entire background of the page. That sounds so fun. So I did it. Okay, and here is the final spread, but I thought it was really cute. Let me know what you think in the comments. Have a good day.